Hey, fans, I'm Thomas Mott. Welcome into Foot of Eagles Now. Happy Monday! Before we jump into the latest Eagles news and rumors, you guys hate the Cowboys? I know you guys do. You guys literally hate the Cowgirls, as I'll call them. Go down below and subscribe if you hate the Cowboys. We've got 26,200 current subscribers. We can get 25 or 26.5 very, very soon. If you guys hate the Cowboys, show it, prove it. Go down below and subscribe. All right, so with some bad draft news for the Philadelphia Eagles. If you're on Twitter, you saw this. If not, well, here's the deal. David Ojabo, one of the top Eagle draft targets we talked about, the pass rusher from Michigan, one who I really consider to be almost a lock to be an Eagle. I mean, all the reports were saying they were going to get this guy, trade up to get him, wait to get him at 15. Well, bad news. He has officially torn his Achilles during the Michigan Pro Day. Yes, so when he's literally running against nobody, not in pads, but being watched by all the different scouts, he tore his Achilles in a very unfortunate, non-contact injury, which of course happened on Friday and later confirmed yesterday. As I mentioned, Philadelphia has had major interest in Ojabo, and while you still can draft him, I mean, he didn't die. You can still go ahead and get the guy. It just now creates a lot of concerns in terms of the fact that they're saying from his camp it's going to be a 6-month recovery, but Achilles normally take 8 to 12 months, and so what's going to happen with his draft stock needs to be discussed right now in terms of what's going on with Philadelphia. So, first off, we'll start with Bleeding Green Nation's write-up on the Ojabo situation. They always do a great job. Throw it up on the screen. Quote, Philadelphia entered this offseason with a big needed edge rusher. They've already signed Haason Reddick to a 3-year contract, so a good addition for them. But the Birds could still afford to add more pass rushing talent in the 2022 NFL Draft. With George Karlaftis and or Jermaine Johnson potentially available to them, the Eagles still might be able to add another young defensive end, but Ojabo's injury can thin the pool of their first-round options. So, now you create this idea of, okay, do you just, move on from David Ojabo? Do you not want to take him? But even though he has immense talent, or do you just go for George Karlaftis out of Purdue or Jermaine Johnson out of FSU? I don't mind still going after Ojabo, but you just can't do it in the first round. Now, maybe Philadelphia has the luxury of taking him with their 3rd overall pick in the first round, whereas most teams only have 1 pick, so you can, take Ojabo later at like 19 overall and then let him recover and then develop and be, a future star pass rusher, or you just wait for the 2nd round. Like, how far is he going to fall is my big question here. I'm fine with taking him in the 2nd round, but if you're only going to have 1 first-round draft pick, I wouldn't take David Ojabo. But if you have all 3, then maybe I would go ahead and still consider it. The issue that you have right now is that I hate drafting players with injuries in the first round. You guys know this, because I want my first-rounders to play right away. Again, Philadelphia might have the luxury. They obviously went ahead and got Haason Reddick, so we'll keep an eye on this. But this is a big blow for a player who not only was going to be a 3rd pass rusher taken in this draft, but could have been a big target and a big improvement for Philadelphia on what is a rebuilding, still potentially dominant, but rebuilding defensive line. Add right pin comment down below. Would you still take Ojabo even with the injury? If you would, type Y down below for yes. If you would not, type N down below for no. Now, again, I'm wondering will the Eagles still go defensive end? I think they still will. I think Jermaine Johnson is very much in play. But maybe this shifts over to getting a cornerback, as Philadelphia's been very quiet at cornerback in free agency. Maybe this shifts over to more wide receiver focus in the first round of the NFL draft. Maybe they use multiple first-round draft picks, package them up, and go up and get Kyle Hamilton out of Notre Dame. Because as we'll see, they re-signed Anthony Harris, but haven't done much in terms of the other safety position, with Rodney McLeod still being a free agent. So this does throw a wrench, and this is what happens whenever you get closer to the draft. People get injured. These injuries happen all the time. You're trying out for scouts, you're trying really hard, and then pop goes the Achilles, and what are you going to do? I just think back to Sidney Jones and how Philadelphia took a risk on a guy who would have been a first-round draft pick. They got him in the 2nd round, and he just never really turned into what we thought he would be. Now, he's played better since leaving Philadelphia, but Jones is still a shell of what you expect him to be coming out of Washington, and now that's my concern with David Ojabo. So Howie has some work to do. He has a history of taking injured players in the early parts of the NFL draft. Will they do the same for David Ojabo? We'll see. But overall, stinks for Ojabo. I mean, I think he's still going to land on his feet, but that's a brutal injury that's going to cost him some money by falling in the first round. Now, make sure you guys are subscribed to Philadelphia Eagles Now for all the offseason coverage. Updates like this. You're going to get that. You get that kind of thing here. I mean, we're going to get you guys everything regarding your Philadelphia Eagles. And, of course, if you like that, go down below and subscribe. Are your notifications turned on? You click the notifications bell. If you have, type Noti Gang down below in the comment section to show us you're one of the, I'd say, Eagle Now faithfuls, but have a notification bell turned on right now. Okay, we mentioned free agency and how Philadelphia's been quiet. We give you guys my best remaining free agent targets who are available out there as of, early here on a Monday morning. And so naturally, if you watch this on Wednesday, it'll change. But here are the guys that are available and some rumors tying Philadelphia to them. We talked about Zach Pascal, the wide receiver from the Colts, and the Sirianni connection there a lot. I'm shocked Philadelphia has not signed him based on the current free agent market at wide receiver or the lack thereof, as Philadelphia has missed out on a lot of key targets. There were reports saying that they were trying to trade for Allen Robinson. They are trying to sign Allen Robinson. They tried to trade for Robert Woods. Like, they've tried for receivers. receivers. Will they eventually get one? We'll see what happens with Pascal. Sammy Watkins remains available. Not someone that I'm thrilled about. I think Philadelphia likes Quez Watkins more than Sammy Watkins, not related. But if you wanted a receiver, Watkins is one of the better ones still available. Again, shows you how bleak the receiving corner is right now in terms of free agents. Tyrann Mathieu, we're staying on Tyrann Mathieu watch. The report today is the Colts and Cowboys are your two favorites. Let's hope that's not true. Again, Philadelphia needs a safety. They re-sign Anthony Harris. Do you go get a safety? Tyrann Mathieu is an option, but one with age and injury to me could be a little bit out of the Eagles' price range. Patrick Peterson, talked about him last week, saying he might be a good fit in Philadelphia at 32 years old, a little too old for me, but keep an eye on him over the next couple of days as he will probably go ahead and choose his team, and if Darius Slay is any indicator, he wants him to come to Philadelphia. And finally, a new report today suggests Philadelphia is interested in Jarvis Landry, the wide receiver from the Browns. This is, not a surprise, as Landry is probably the best receiver available on the free agent market right now. The question is, how much money does he want, as Cleveland cut him because he wanted $12 million a year, at least that's what his contract was going to go ahead and pay him had he stayed in Cleveland. So keep an eye on these guys. We'll see if they make any sort of moves. If they do, obviously we'll cover it here on the channel. Is there one of the 5 you want Philadelphia to sign today? Is there another player that I didn't mention you want the Eagles to sign? If there is one, let me know who that is down below right now. All right, let's finish with the contract news over the weekend. Philadelphia re-signed Fletcher Cox. You already saw that video by, who was it? I think it was Harrison over the weekend, but of course, we'll just mention it here today if you missed it. Philadelphia cut Fletcher Cox, and people freaked out, and then the reports saying they were going to have a new deal by Monday morning, and then yesterday they went ahead and re-signed Fletcher Cox to a cheaper deal. They saved about $4 or $5 million, but they keep him for one final year, which to me is perfect. The Eagles did this perfectly because they had... they refielded phone calls for trading him. He's just too expensive on the dead cap to do so, and to be able to reduce the contract hit for one final year and then move on from him after this season, when hopefully Milton Williams pops and shows you that he can be the replacement starter, is good news and a good thing for Philly. A surprise for me was re-signing Boston Scott to a one-year deal. It shows how much Boston likes Philadelphia, but I think Boston probably tested the free agent market, and as you see, running backs are not getting a lot of love. There's reports Leonard Fournette wanted $12 million a year, and there's no team right now wanting to pay him that. So Boston Scott probably tested the market, saw that he wasn't really wanted, knows he's had success in Philadelphia, and re-signed with the Eagles. And again, what was a surprise, now you have 3 official running backs on the roster because Jordan Howard remains a free agent. You have obviously Kenny Gainwell, Miles Sanders, and Scott, which is still a good 1-2-3 punch, as Boston Scott's had a lot of touchdowns the past couple of years, filling in for injured running backs. They also re-signed Anthony Harris. I think, again, they tried for safeties. Marcus Williams, that was reported, obviously way too expensive, and they saw that they need to bring back Harris on a one-year deal. I'm quoted saying I don't think Harris was that great this past year, a lot worse than I thought that he was going to be. He goes Pro Football Focus grade. He wasn't terrible. Like, signing him to a one-year deal again, a prove-it deal where you just kind of let's see what happens. If he plays great, you re-sign him again, is just fine. I think Howie did a good job with that as well. But safety remains a big question mark for Philadelphia. Are they going to draft somebody like a Kyle Hamilton or a Jalen Petrie out of Baylor? Are they going to, bring back a guy like Roddy McLeod? Are they going to promote Kayvon Wallace or Marcus Epps? Like, I don't know what they're going to do at safety, but Harris at least plugs 50% of the hole because obviously you have 2 safeties and now Harris is signed. We're going to do my free agent grades for Howie Roseman's free agency performance tomorrow, but I want your grade right now down below in the comment section. Grade Howie's free agency period so far from a GM perspective, A, B, C, D, or F. We'll grade all of my stuff coming up tomorrow, even though there isn't a lot to grade. We'll do a video on that on Tuesday. All right, follow me on Twitter. Keep an eye on all the latest Eagle stuff at Real Thomas Mott. The place to go as I tweet a ton of stuff, retweet a ton of stuff, like a ton of stuff. If it's regarding our Eagles, a good place to follow is me on Twitter at Real Thomas Mott. Shameless plug. And then we'll do a mailbag video on Friday. If you guys have any questions you want asked and then therefore answered by me, hashtag Eagles down below in the comments section. Any sort of Eagle-related mailbag question, I am the man. So you want to ask me a question, go down below, be a subscriber, and ask right now. All right, ultimate day on our Eagles news number video here on a Monday. Keep an eye on for last-minute free agent bites that they could go ahead and gobble up. We'll keep an eye on that the rest of the day. For Eagles now, Thomas Mott signing off for the rest of your day.